And Mitch asked when HBD, and actually this week it's on the road. So I met with the devs every Monday. I meet with the ops team and the dev team, and we were talking about LeoDex with the LeoDex team. And our targets this week are to finish refactoring the code. We're at about like 85% right now, so it should be done by tomorrow. So we're refactoring the code, which just basically means that we're cleaning everything up and fixing a lot of bugs. And then after that, we're going to do a bunch of testing. And then while we're doing the testing, the devs are going to integrate HBD. So HBD should be live and fully operational by next Monday, um, which is going to be a lot of fun. So you'll be able to buy and sell HBD using LeoDex, and that is native HBD on the Hive blockchain.
That's going to be awesome.
And
All we need is for Hive users to step away from Binance.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's crazy to see how many people still prefer to use centralized exchanges, even if you can. And this is why my public service announcement has been, at the very least, when you go to buy or sell Hive, quote the swap on LeoDex and quote the swap on Binance or Simple Swap or whatever centralized exchange you're using. Quote them side by side and just pick whichever one gives you the best price, because there are a lot of times, I would say at least 25% of the time, it kind of fluctuates with the markets, but there are a lot of times where you actually will get a better price for buying or selling on LeoDex than you will on Binance and the centralized exchanges like Simple Swap. And a lot of people actually think that Simple Swap is decentralized, and I'll tell you right now that it's not. All they're doing is trading on Binance on your behalf. So if you think about it, it's completely centralized. So LeoDex is really the only way to trade Hive and soon HBD, and then you can also trade SPS and DEC. These Hive assets. It's the only decentralized way to trade them. So, my public service announcement is literally just quote them side by side and pick the best price at the very least. And that being said, I'll quote them side by side, and if the price is close, if it's better, it's like a no-brainer that I'm using LeoDex. If it's close though, if it's like say within 1% of Binance, then I'll still use LeoDex because I prefer the decentralization. Obviously, I prefer to support Leo and LeoDex. And then it's also faster. So LeoDex is a faster trade than any centralized exchange because you just connect your wallet, hit swap, and within a few minutes you have your crypto, versus the alternative, which is like, let's say you're selling Hive, you have to open, the exchange, Binance, whatever, hit deposit, and then send your assets to Binance, and then you have to wait until Binance receives your deposit. Then you have to sell on Binance on the order books, and then you have to convert that USDT into whatever crypto you want, and then you have to withdraw that crypto to your wallet. So it's actually faster to just use LeoDex. So faster, sometimes cheaper, and decentralized, I think is kind of those key selling points of using LeoDex for your Hive trading needs.
And
yeah, I've seen
ease of
some.
use.
Ease of use too,
Yeah,
for sure.
I was just gonna say I've seen some people argue that it's complicated or it's hard to figure out or whatever. But you just walked us through a logging into Binance. I mean, it's like 15 steps before you get to do anything, and you still have to wait. Whereas you pop onto LeoDex, you click Connect Wallet, you select whatever wallet, and then you hit Swap, and you're done. There's no next steps at all. It's stupid easy.
Yeah. And for those of us in the US, it's also, an easy option because we have very limited options in the US when it
Yeah.
comes to transacting with anything Hive.
Yeah, and
Very, very limited.
yeah, it's extremely limited, and it's only getting worse. It's not getting better, and it's only going to continue to get worse as these centralized exchanges get cracked down on. And then the other key point is Eric and I were talking to a pretty well-known Hiver that I won't name, but he was quoting swaps on LeoDex and wondering about the price efficiency because he was looking at doing like a $5,000 or $1,000 Hive swap. and the fees, because when you quote it out, it shows fees, but the fees actually include slippage. And the fees plus slippage were pretty high. I think it was like $150 on like a $2,000 swap or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, this is like really high. I could go to a centralized exchange and it wouldn't be so high." And it is a little complicated to explain that the majority of that fee, actually like 95% of that fee, is really slippage. So I think one of the changes we're going to make that Eric suggested is to separate slippage and fees. I think Nifty's suggested that in the past as well. So separating fees and slippage on those Hive swaps so that you can actually see where the money is going is really important. And sometimes that slippage is actually a negative amount. So that's what I was saying, when you can quote some, like maybe 25% of the time, you quote a swap, the fee is actually a reward. It's actually the opposite of a fee. You're getting paid to make the swap because the slippage works out in your favor. So you're actually doing the way I've actually come up with a decent way to describe this is that when you do a Hive swap, any Hive asset, so whether it's Hive, SPS, DEC, or HBD, there is a built-in arbitrage mechanism where you're arbitraging between the different blockchains. So you're arbitraging between the Hive blockchain and the Maya protocol blockchain. So by doing that swap, you get the either benefit or downside of the arbitrage. So if the arbitrage is a positive arbitrage, it's like built in to your swap. And that's how you're able to like make money swapping. For example, if you sell Hive on LeoDex, some of the time you may actually make money. And the reason why is because there's a built-in arbitrage. And if you time it correctly, you get, positive EV from that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just have some Hive sitting around, or SPS or DEC or whatever it is, hop on LeoDex every now and then and quote out a swap. You might just catch it where it's negative and it's in your favor, the slippage. Just like Cal was saying, you may end up, you may end up getting a few extra dollars on your swap. And 100% important. Separate the slippage from the swap fees on the UI, because I saw someone, maybe it was yesterday, they were like, why are the fees so high to go from USDC to Hive? And, I had to explain, well, most of that slippage as liquidity deepens between Leo-Cacao, USDC-Cacao, and even on the Hive side, as all of that deepens, all of that goes away. And sometimes it works in your favor.
Yeah.
And I saw a question in the threadcast I wanted to address real quick that kind of ties back to what we were just talking about. Are there any fees on transferring HBD to LeoDex? You don't transfer HBD to LeoDex. You connect your wallet, and then you swap your HBD for another asset. So the short answer is no. The long answer is you don't send it to LeoDex like you would when you log into Binance and you have to send it to the exchange and wait on them to receive it. It's self-custody. Get the depositing and withdrawing out of your mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's LeoDex is an interface at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And it facilitates the transaction. But like Nifty said, self-custody. Your assets are in your wallet, and the interface is connecting to your wallet to therefore facilitate a transaction for you.